Good morning. So here is my 10-minute makeup. I'm going to add this in after I've properly woken up. I was thinking I'd be able to speak at this time, but I've literally opened my eyes, so I don't think that's a good idea. I literally go in with Weleda, so nice, Skin Food, the light one. I've used this for such a long time now. I flipping love this headband. And I've literally just been washing my face with cold water of all things. And no product in the morning. I find sometimes when I double cleanse, it just makes my skin kind of more sensitive. So just gone back to basics really with it. And then I've been putting on my brow gel before I put on my tinted SPF. Just because otherwise it all gets stuck in your actual eyebrows. And then I brush them up, but kind of to the side, like not totally up. And then I go in with the glue. And this is my gym makeup, so what I wear. So I've gone foundation free, and literally the thing I use is the Helio Care Gel Oil Bronze. So I use quite a generous amount of that. Just use my fingers. It doesn't kind of go a bit patchy because it's not like foundation, but you can just smooth it out with a brush and then just like conceal over. Just also have to make sure that you get it in your pores, like in your, like in your nose creases, otherwise you end up with white patches. This is just so breathable and doesn't break my skin out at all. Too Faced Multi Sculpting Concealer, and I literally just put it not like right under my eye crease because then it goes into the crease of your eyes. So I just blend underneath and around, just try and avoid that like crease line, you know, like right under there. I don't always do this, but I'm just gonna conceal with my finger. Cream blush, so I really like the liquid blush. I just go here. Oh, do you know what? I've done this in the wrong order. I thought I was missing something. So Too Faced Chocolate Bronzing and Sculpting Stick, and just go by my forehead, just underneath my cheekbone. And then just a little bit of contour. A bit of contour on my nose. So adding a little bit of blush on my actual nose. And then Too Faced powder, just like this loose one, and then flick that off. So that's pretty much like my base done. And then I just use kind of like whatever I had on my brush yesterday, like the residue, as this is just like a quick makeup look. Like I love just everyday ease. This takes me around 10, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes slightly less. On those days when I've rushed it, I feel like I look a little bit crazy, so it's worth taking time, isn't it? And I always use these, like this changed my lashes totally. If you're not using a curler, I don't know what you're doing. They make putting on mascara just so much easier and have not all your lashes are actually in the right place. Right, that's my mascara. Lips. So this is quite new. Maybelline Lifter Liner. I feel like I saw this on TikTok and I was sold. TikTok is getting me at the moment, and it's very deep red. Hang on. Right, so it looks really crazy right now. And then I'll use a little brush to thread it out. And I'm liking a more pinkier lip, you know. So it comes out like that. Just a gloss. This is just a plain lifter gloss. My everyday makeup look, and that was 12 minutes and filming, so I'm quite impressed with that. But I just love wearing a bit of makeup to the gym. I feel more put together. And then I'm going to do my hair. No, we'll do grey. And then I like this because you can kind of have your hair down, it's out your face. The only thing is I'd like slicked it back yesterday, so it's looking a little bit, but that's it. Now I have to get changed. Can we just take a minute for this I was going to say sunset. This sunrise, this week, every single sunrise here has just been crazy. So where this villa is, it's basically kind of on like it is on an actual mountain. So it's insane, like seeing the sunrises every day. Bit chilly out there, it's a little bit chilly. This is a bit of a physique update. So we coming up to 9 or 10 weeks into the lean build phase, and it started off really scary. I thought I could talk a little bit more about how that's going and just any of my like tips throughout this phase a little bit later on. But this is what we're currently looking like. We've put on some muscle, got this blue Define set on today, Define sports bra and short. Things are filling up, like definitely quads, I've seen some growth, and glutes, and I'm glad to have a little bit more like body fat. I got super shredded lean, if you didn't know, for 2 bodybuilding competitions that I did, and that is just, it's not healthy or maintainable, and I've learned a lot throughout that process as well, and that's the leanest I've ever been in my life. I haven't had my coffee or a drink yet, so I'm going to get on with that and also do my meditation. Oh my god, it's crazy. It's like more over this side today. Can't get over it. Okay, the sunset. So, oh my god, the sunrise this morning was so good. We just had to jump in the car and we're going to go down to the beach and do our meditation at the beach. One thing that I'm trying to do is just be a bit more present in my actual life at the moment, as in, you know, when you get these ideas, like I thought, oh, it'd be nice to spend the morning at the beach, and it's literally like 6 minutes drive. Like, why not now? Why wait? Why do we put things off so much and then never end up doing it? Look! What's funny as well, so we spent, I think it was about 3 months here in the summertime, and I came down to this beach once. I think Mason was just saying he's not actually been down here since like 3 years ago, and it's 6 minutes drive. I'd say about half an hour, 40-minute walk. It's a very steep hill that you've got to go down. But how crazy is that we can have things on our doorstep, and it's not just the beach, but just even it's people, like people that you're just used to seeing every day, your family, and we take things for granted. And it's really important to have awareness. Got my coffee in tow and my big crystal, not my little crystal as well. It's 60 grams of oats. I use the really fine ones. I find they're like more creamy in texture than the big rolled ones. I used to have 40 grams of oats and now I have 60, and the difference is crazy in how much more you get. I feel like it actually touches the sides as well, you know. And then look how much it expands and how much volume. I overcook it for about 5 minutes when I add extra water, and it just fluffs up. So I've added vanilla flavour drops as well, which has been something new, and then sea salt, dark choc. There is my oat bottle. It's looking good today. And then I'm just having a yogurt bowl before my call, just because it's quick, easy, and I'm still a bit hungry, so I'm gonna put some peanut butter on as well, of course. Setting it up for Clothers Club call. Just gone over like our plan, and then this is where we have a call every week. Today we're doing a meditation, like all together, a group meditation, possibly a little bit of journaling. We're gonna see how we do time-wise. Just go through some Q&A questions. It's also a check-in for the Lean and Line challenge, so where you can go and ask any questions around the challenge, like whilst you're doing it, and just make sure you're fully clear. Hello, hi Lisa, hi Steph, hi Diana. I wanted to say just what another amazing week 2. I feel like this week particularly has really gone quick, and it's just genuinely so nice that we all feel like, I feel like I can share anything with you guys. I feel like it's nice to see you opening up. It's rare that you find like these little pockets of just safe spaces where you feel like you can be yourself and there's no judgment here, and I just think we're all on a very similar wavelength, and I honestly just feel very grateful. What on earth I've done to deserve just to attract just such beautiful people inside and out. So I did want to start just by saying that, like, that's beside all our fitness goals, like just genuinely every single one of you in this community, you just bring such pure energy, which is nice. We've all been also smashing our goals. Like, I think we've got a good balance going on at the moment, guys. We're working towards our goals in a way that we're out our comfort zones and challenging ourselves every day, but we're doing it from a place of more of love rather than like self-hatred. We're not saying, oh my God, I've got to do this today. We're not coming from that energy. So I think that's a good place to be at, and we're working on our mindset. Okay, so we had our call and we just have done a little bit of work and then had 2 more meals since. This is the outdoor kitchen at the villa. If you watch my vlogs from the summer, the Villa's been like totally renovated. I've been coming since I was actually 2 years old, so it's nice to see it just transform. And then this is like, it was going to be just an outdoor barbecue, which we've got here, and we spent so much time cooking. We had this like bit of space, so it made sense to do like a bit of what they call an anea. So in here there's going to be barbecue and then window. We only literally decided about putting this window in both sides because it's not a huge area and it had been super dark, so put a window here and then a little sink, chopping board, then some sort of seating, maybe sofa or table and chairs, some sort of thing here, a TV for there, and then there's another window, and then it all just like expands out. We thought about putting like an island here, but it's just not big enough and I don't think it's needed anyway, so I think it's going to be really cool. But this is the point, you know, when you're doing building work, you've really got to keep the visual strong, as in you've got to keep visualising what it's going to look like, because it's so overwhelming when you just stare at bricks trying to imagine. But yeah, I think it's going to be really cool, and I'll show you the afterwards as well. Now to the gym. I'm really not feeling like training right now, but can I get it done? And sometimes when you've had a rest day, I feel like the following day you're like, oh, I really can't bother training now. Okay, I'm walking backwards because it's super dark when I flip the camera around. I've just got to the gym and I forgot my headphones in the car somehow, and I thought, oh, please don't be one of these gym sessions, you know, where you're just like, ugh. But it's actually later in the day, so it's 3:30, and I'm not a huge fan of training after like 3 meals, just because I feel a bit like sluggish and I'm not used to training at this time. But we've sometimes got to do the things that we don't want to do, because in the long term that's gonna be the most beneficial. Like, I know I want to train today, I had a rest day yesterday, I'm just simply being lazy. You only just call yourself out on your own BS as well. And I'm gonna have a good session. It's a low one. It's I've only got 4 exercises, so should be good. I'm not feeling like it, but I know I'm gonna feel much better, so let's get it. When you're next having a really unmotivated day, I've had a few lately and these happen to us all, and what really helps is anchoring to a micro goal, so not the whole session. So rather than thinking, oh god, I've got to get through this entire workout, shift your focus to just the first set. Right, let's just focus on this first exercise and then the next, and just take it step by step, because the motivation often kicks in just after we get started. Like, it's just that initial thinking about, oh my god, I need to be in here for like an hour. It's not always about hyping yourself up, it's just lowering that mental barrier and just say, I'll do the warm-up set and see how I feel, and I guarantee you will already be into your next exercise and you'll have shifted that funk. Another thing is using physical cues to override that mental noise. You know, when you're unmotivated and you're just kind of thinking too much, you're going so much into how do I feel, if you just shift it to what's my body doing. So focus on the actual stretch in your glutes at the bottom, say of an RDL, or driving through your heels in a leg press. This just actually keeps you in your body, not your emotions. So focusing on what you're actually doing rather than thinking, oh god, this feels so bad, like I'm really not feeling this rep. And that way you can just dial into those physical sensations and you interrupt that negative thought pattern to create just that flow feeling throughout your actual workout. And lastly, just reframing I'm unmotivated to I'm building my bank of evidence, my discipline data. Unmotivated days are the absolute proof of discipline, not the failure of it. So think of it as adding another rep to your mental discipline log, bank of confidence that starts to build. And this also detaches your performance from emotion. So you're not here to feel motivated, you're here to be working on your inner confidence, work on committing to the things that you said you'd do, like you showed up when you didn't feel like it. And that's where the true growth really comes from and where you start to expand as a person. Oh gosh, it's the next day. I've just had my peppermint tea. I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about overwhelm, because that's what I felt. That's just probing the word that I've really just felt in my core over this past few days. And I wanted to share this because you could be going through something similar, and it can feel really lonely when you are going through emotions like this. First of all, I had something that just like hit me really hard, just some news really rocked me, which has, you know, you're kind of shocked when something really gets you and like triggers you. And then I had to kind of look at that as well, because I was like, wait, there's obviously something, that there's a lesson in here somewhere. That was a lot to process. And then you also need to give yourself time when you do go through hard things, whether that's losing losing a friend, losing someone, or just like something in work coming up. There's so many things that can trigger us and that bring up emotions. And it's not about pushing those emotions away, but just looking at like, right, why has that made me feel like that? And working through that and knowing that it's not going to be something that just goes away overnight, for one. So that's happened this week. And then I've also been obviously navigating this next phase. So I'm very much in my build phase, and that's its own challenge in itself. I'm enjoying that process, but it's flipping challenging, and I have my moments, doubts, days, and I'm also finding my version of balance. And I talk about this a lot because I don't really like the word balance, and it means something different to all of us. But I've created a weekly planner, and I've had to schedule in time just for like me to be me, as in off my phone at times. And I don't know if you're like this too, but it's so important that we're not always on our phones so that we can actually be present in our lives. And if you also love what you do for work, say, or you really enjoy what you're working on, you're passionate, that's difficult at times because it doesn't feel like work basically. And I'm working on, I want to be able to pour more into my family, my friends, and yeah, just being more present is a big part of that. When you look at life as kind of like an umbrella, there's a lot going on right now, and it's just navigating that whilst also trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be a sister, a daughter, and it just feels a lot, don't you think sometimes? And then be like, show up as a friend. There's a lot of different areas, and it's just like prioritizing what needs. And I think it's like phases of life. Like, you're going to have times and seasons where you're more focused on one thing, but something always has to give. Like, it's hard to show up in all those different areas unless you put things and boundaries in place. So this could be your sign too, to make sure you're putting your boundaries in place, focusing on the right areas and like what actually is important. And I think it was Gary Vee. I saw him in an interview, and he said something that really struck a chord. So like, say if you're really focused on work or business, and then if there was one thing that went today, say if it was you didn't have your health, you wouldn't give a shit about any of the business stuff of anything. Like, if you didn't have your health, or if the 3-5 people closest to you didn't have their health, like that would be the main thing that's most important. And I just think that puts things into perspective as well, and like where you are focusing your energy, making sure it's in the right places. So that's some of my current thoughts, and I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that's helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would also like to see in the upcoming ones. I'm excited to start a new series. I'm thinking around kind of this build phase and lean muscle building, and also this growth mindset, what I'm working on, like mentally, spiritually, whatever you want to call it. Would love to dive more into that, but I can't wait to see you in the next video.